The Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel confirming that a Dane County judge has cut provisions of Wisconsin's Act 10, which severely curbed the influence of unions here in the state. Act 10 notably stripped collective bargaining away from most public sector unions. Multiple unions filed a lawsuit last November, citing dire situations in workplaces due to issues of low pay, staffing shortages, and poor working conditions. The lawsuit argues the Scott Walker-era law violated equal protection guarantees within Wisconsin's Constitution by dividing employees as either general or public safety employees. Dane County Circuit Court Judge Jacob Frost saying in his ruling that no one could provide an explanation why certain positions were categorized into one group when they do the same work and have the same authority. We're still working to verify that with Journal-Sentinel's reports on this issue. Meanwhile, State School Superintendent Dr. Jill Underly, that is, reacting to that ruling, saying, quoting now, "The right to organize one's co-workers into a union and then collectively bargain is a fundamental American right. It is fitting that we will celebrate the restoration of those rights for many workers this Independence Day. Respecting the rights of Wisconsin's educators will also have a profound impact on addressing the crisis many public schools face in recruiting and retaining teachers," end quote. Meanwhile, former Governor Scott Walker also tweeting out his own response tonight, saying, quoting, "Why elected governor and lawmakers if activist judges can impose their own will," end quote.